Friday, February 4th. I got the month right this time. We made it through a Monday through Friday. Another day to go. But look, we got some stuff to talk about today. So let's get the little Friday bounce going.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare when they see me. If instead of once, no need to repeat. Run up on me, watch
Yo,
dude,
we got some snow this morning.
This is what's ridiculous.
I'm digging out his driveway.
You send me, you at work, walking through like what looks like a full blizzard, right? And I'm like, oh, he shouldn't be at work and nobody should be at school there, right? Okay, fine. But then here in Nashville, okay, track with me. We got a whole 1/8 inch of freezing rain. 1/8 inch. And when you walk on it, it's just slush. And school is closed.
It's all
so that's
over.
the dichotomy of the country.
But here's the flip side to that, right? Because I'm not gonna try to like go snowflex on anybody because I'm gonna be posting on Instagram when it hits 97 up here. Be like, oh, have we been forsaken? Right? Meanwhile, Kyle's in a long sleeve t-shirt and jeans and 103. Right. You know, so it is gonna flip. So I'm not trying to be like better than anybody else.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, it came in this morning. We definitely had some snow. I'm actually at the office all by myself today. But here's the bottom line. Like I could have done anything I'm doing from home, but it's just what I do. Like I'm just used to it. This is what I do. For 15 years, I went out in this every day in a truck, driving hundreds of miles. So everybody's got their thing that it's like no factor to them. You know, but there's somebody else's factor, and that's the way life is. It's the way life is. But we got so much done this week, and there's so much more to do still today. Really is. But it's been exciting to gather with the ASOTO community in Clubhouse and via emails and getting feedback from the emails. Having people send in positive stories, you know, from across the industry. Please keep doing that, by the way. ASOTO.com/positivity. We're gonna share more of those. And man, like the momentum's just gonna keep going. So it's been great to be with the community, and I already feel the trouble brewing. Like I can feel it.
I mean, we've had 3 clubhouse rooms at this point this week. We're like minutes from heading into all things used cars with David Long. Literally and minutes. Like the energy, even just around the conversations, right? And you know, sometimes you think about, man, if we're not touching like or reaching hundreds of people at a time with some of these messages, it's, you know, maybe you can lose sight of the importance of that small community that really is making an impact. That's like, because how many people in that small community then go touch other people throughout the day, right?
That's right.
It's like, what's the exponential impact of some of the conversations that we get to have, some of the news and the sharing and all that type of stuff. And there's energy this week, at least from our perspective.
Absolutely. Look, never underestimate the power of one conversation, one piece of content, one response, right? Because that's really how it is in life. One meeting, one comment you make, one kindness that you give, that adds up really quick, and it's a massive force multiplier.
You know, just to like lean into that, I know we got a lot of news to get to, but I used to like as you know, like a marketing director, I would think, well, we're on social, but we don't have a lot of like engagement, interaction, impressions, good on organic stuff, but you know, what is that really doing for us? We're not getting the engagement. There's not shares, there's not likes, comments, all that type of stuff. But then what do you like? What's the reality of like the impression that someone might get when they're shopping and they just go to your social to see if you exist and to see if you're a valuable person to do business with, right?
That happens I do that all the time.
All the time. You're like, does this work? Scroll, get away, right? But now you know the importance of that corporation or company or business. And so don't stop putting out quality content, encouraging people and being in your communities in ways that maybe there might not be direct response all the time.
Without a doubt. Don't go tired of that. It does matter. Like, yeah, maybe you can't tie it to a metric like, did that sell me more cars? Like, look, that's an important question to ask. but that is not the only question to ask. Let's remember that. Like, oh, thank you, David.
David Long, what a guy.
That was a good night. I'll never forget that phone call, my friend. Never forget that phone call. All right, we got some news stories to go through. This is the one that we didn't get to yesterday. That on the show, and we also talked about in the Women Inspiring Automotive Clubhouse room that we said would be in the pushback email this morning, which it was. You can go to asodu.com and sign up for our regular Monday through Friday email. It has a little more depth on some stuff like this. But there was an article in Wall Street Journal about teachers quitting in droves over the last 2 years. It said private resignations were like 550,000 from January to, I think it was like September or October last year, and more than 800,000 in the public sector. And these are teachers who obviously the game changed on them, right? Schools,
absolutely,
remote, masking, like whatever it is, all the requirements.
I just can't imagine being a teacher in the remote environment last year, right? I mean, that's just it's so anti-teacher. You know what I mean? Like to be involved and hands-on with kids. So
well, no one signed up for that, right? No one went to school saying no one was inspired to be a teacher because they had someone on a Zoom call like, okay, my sister's a teacher and it was her first year. Last year was her first full year.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like fifth graders. Like, can you imagine keeping like 18 fifth graders engaged? It was a nightmare, but she stuck with it. She stuck with it in a good way. But here's the point. A lot of these teachers are saying, you know what? Maybe there are other things I can do. And they are getting gobbled up by tech companies, by educational content companies, by any company that likes someone who's organized, has people skills, and likes being part of a team. Like all these things are traits.
I think about this. Like we talk about training all the time in the automotive industry. We have to do training. We got to do more training, right? Or HR. It's like teachers are people, and they're great at training people, right? They bring people along. They're good at education, so like,
and they're probably pretty patient.
Yeah, which you definitely need.
and here's another secret. Guess what? They're underpaid for what they do.
They're so underpaid. Yeah. It's like, it's giving someone a life change, adjusting potentially they could enter the variable or fixed ops, but for those mid to large size groups, like bringing them in for that educational content, getting them up to speed on what it looks like to be a dealer, and even learning from them, going like, hey, what from your industry or from your experience actually could impact our industry or experience, and not just saying like, oh, you had to sell cars for 5 years to train our people, right? That might not be the reality.
Even think of working environment. From a working environment standpoint, like private sector teachers, typically there's not a lot of money to go around, right? Because it's not funded by the government, right? So you can't charge a whole lot for tuition, except for probably in some really, private school situations, like real high-end ones. And then you have the public sector where it's literally usually a very contentious place to be, because you have labor union, you have all this friction back and forth. And look, whenever it's not like an entrepreneurial free market type business, guess what? Excellence is not really rewarded. You kind of get pushed down to a lot of politics. So walking into a private company that, is, results driven and is like there's real results. Like there's no tenure, right? So people can get fired, meaning you're going to have a better, more engaged workforce.
Without a doubt.
And so, automotive, we're talking about it all the time. We talked about it earlier this week, looking outside automotive. Look for some teachers, because they'll probably make some great marketers, some great trainers, some great advisors, probably some great like lead admin people. I'm sure we have some finance people
yes,
we got some opportunities. So there's Wall Street Journal. You can find a link to it in today's email. Go to asodu.com. It's there. What else we got to talk about today? Oh man, it's the end of earnings week. Crazy earnings week.
Yeah. Right? All right. Crazy earnings week with Meta doing the wah wah right on Wednesday.
I can't remember. I saw an Instagram post that said the view from Meta's campus. And it was that like classic picture of Mark Zuckerberg like in front of the Meta, like kind of he's got a little bit of an awkward smile, but he's in front of the Meta thing, but he's got like hockey player teeth all of a sudden.
Yes, just all beat up. Yeah. No, that was absolutely good. But
he'll come back, by the way. I'm not betting against Facebook. If you want to get in Facebook stock, now's the time. That is not
you're like if Zuckerberg had lost 20%,
that's coming back. That's coming back.
It's coming back. But yesterday, Amazon came out with their earnings, And after hours trading was way up again with Amazon. And not just that, a part of that earnings call was also the reality that they're moving their Amazon Prime pricing, which if you think like the sheer volume of people that will now be paying an additional $20 per year or $2 a month
times
right?
millions. I don't remember how many users they had or how many Prime members.
And it's worth it, right? I mean, at least for our family, like I don't think I've hit that break point on $139 yet, right? Like
No.
for the speed and the efficiency and the ability to order quickly and get things quickly. And it's for me, it's definitely worth it. And so basically the trajectory is it was originally 79, went to 99 in
Was it 79 in the
2014.
beginning? Was
Yep,
that the
so
first price?
79 was
I
early.
was just wondering. I was like, what did I
Yep.
pay? I thought it was 59. 79. That makes sense.
So 79, then 99 in 2014, then 2018 it was 119. So that's what everyone's paying now. And then you're going to go to 139 late February. New users will be at 139. I think late March is like if you're a current subscriber, you'll be on that 139. So for most people paying monthly, right? They're going to see a $2 increase and they're going to be like, yeah. Okay.
How much did they raise it? I was just searching. I'm like, how many Prime members do they have? So how much did they increase it?
So annual is 119 to 139. Yep, $20.
139. All right. So
what's the dollar amount?
Is that right? I have to turn my phone sideways to see.
You're like, no.
I look, I had my phone upright and it says 2.24 E9. I was like, what the heck is that? It's $2.2 billion.
$2 billion
a year. But here's the thing. They built a lot of value else around it, right? Like Prime Video, like we watch TV shows on that, right? Think of what you pay for Netflix or Hulu, right? So they built that value in it. I don't use the music, but they have the music. They have books you can read. Storage, yeah.
Right. A lot of people don't use the storage, but there is some storage,
Yeah, no, they've done a good job.
Storage, right?
Yeah, I mean, talk about, and look, let's face it, like Prime service is not what it used to be. It used to be way better.
It really isn't. Yeah. Well, and
how about that? Like they can raise the prices and
they're raising the prices, and you're like, it's okay.
I remember when I could really, it was like Prime. You knew you had that in 2 days,
right?
It's just a thing of the past. Like I don't even have any expectation around Prime shipping anymore. Do you?
Really? Oh, we still in Nashville. We still do. Like I'm pretty expectant that we're 1 or 2 days from getting any item off. But Nashville's a hub. We've got a large, central.
Yeah. That'll probably in Syracuse.
Yeah.
They they're finishing up and they're starting to stock it. They have some issues. But it's supposed to be the largest warehouse in like the Eastern Hemisphere in Syracuse.
Wow.
Because it's like right between Buffalo, Rochester, Canada, right?
Yeah,
so I don't know, maybe my Prime game will pick up after that. But I heard something weird too, that they're not selling anything out of this warehouse that is any bigger than 2 feet by 2 feet.
No way. That's so interesting.
There's some nerd logistics thing where that just makes all the sense.
Yeah. We have like 4 warehouses in Nashville now, like massive warehouses.
I bet you probably got a 5th on its way coming. Oh, what else? Oh, right to repair bill.
This is big for automotive. Yeah. So, early, like probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, as the right to repair bill was really getting some like traction and more people were reporting on it, the big news was around Apple and the inability for like secondary service shops to fix some of the items in an Apple iPhone, and that like 90% of the items can be fixed, but there are some things that can't be, that it has to go back to a OEM certified.
Store,
Yes, either Apple store or certified store.
Yep.
So that same right to repair bill would actually apply to auto manufacturers and warranty repairs.
Ooh.
So instead of instead of people having to go back for warranty repairs or for recall repairs going back to the manufacturer, there's the opportunity for independent shops to get in on that. So in an environment where we already struggle with retention, especially with independent shops, really leaning into what are you doing right now to ensure that your quality of experience, that, your ability to meet the customer where they're at, service them on a dime, express service, all that type of stuff is like should be of heightened awareness right now.
Think about, so I was a service advisor for a while. There are a lot of recalls where it's just like a reprogram, or it's, just like a little piece that can get popped in and out. And what that generated was traffic into the store that could turn into tires, brakes, all that other stuff. Like if I'm thinking like like an entrepreneur, and if I'm like, say, we'll use Ford, if I'm a Ford dealer, I'm like, oh man, I better. Can you imagine if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm like, hey, there's a reprogram, right? I'm getting in a van
and going to every person's. Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to 13 of those a day, right? 15 of those a day. And so if I'm a dealer, I'm like, okay, if I need to start defending against that, like this is going to open up a whole new level of competition, which in the end will benefit the consumer. But I mean, come on, let's go, guys. Service departments, let's be ahead of this and like not think within the realms of our box.
Build express service outside of your brick and mortar that is tied to your name. Work with the manufacturer to get that as a certified shop, right? All of that type of stuff. Like
the walls are closing in. Walls are closing in. Oh, I wish we had some more time to talk about some more things. I did hear a Ford, a comment from the Ford CEO on the radio this morning in Syracuse on the way in, talking about dealers gouging customers on new vehicles and how they're going to use that. If dealers are going to do that, they're going to limit allocation in the future over it. I have to look into it because I heard it on the radio when they were like, Ford CEO, right? I tune in because this is local radio, and he came out speaking against. So there are big conversations in our rooms this week about charging more over MSRP or when it's okay, when it's not okay, right? A lot of different stances, a lot of people I respect on both sides of it, but Ford understands something, and that is that the perception is bad for their brand. So they're going to do what they can from the top to enforce or encourage, we'll say, some more.
We got to find that. We got to find more about that.
Yeah, we'll
share more. Yeah.
But I know we went a little overtime Friday. Thank you for an amazing week. Sign up for the email at asodu.com. We're jumping right into all things used car clubhouse room right now. You can get that by going to asodu.club, and we'll see you next week. Get